we've seen a lot of Charlie's friends, people that are in the media, come out and say Charlie had very specific concerns about Israel, and that his opinions were changing about Israel, and that he had expressed concerns about this to various media personalities. My question is the man that owns the company that's in charge of his security detail, and you are the head guy on his security detail, were there any concerns about that or any other organization, political party, foreign nation? Did he express any of those concerns to you?
No, and Dan works for Turning Point as their security guy, and so Dan feeds down that to us to our contracted security, which is us for integrity. Mm-hmm. And so nothing had ever come now from Dan, from Charlie down to us about that. Now, at the same time, you got to look at the world we live in, mm-hmm. and that's a reality. It's a reality that an organization, whether it be a hate group of any type, could want to hurt anybody. Not necessarily Israel, but we look at mathematics too, and there's probabilities and possibilities, right? And I look at the probabilities. The possibilities are infinite. And the probabilities are that it's not. The probabilities are the people that want to hurt him are the people that are there screaming things at him in front of us half the time. Mm-hmm. And so we have to look at those probabilities in the mathematics. We look at the possibilities too. And those possibilities, I'm sure, are out there, but we've never got any detail or intel to show that yet we should look into this deeper.
I mean, it is very interesting that if he was that concerned about foreign nations or opposite political affiliations, I mean, if he was that concerned, I don't know why that wouldn't have been disseminated down to the security detail. I mean, I have a security detail, and if I feel that there is a threat, even if it's just a feeling, that's the first people that I tell is my security detail.
We look at all that, and you can go back and look at his speeches, and Charlie was an absolute supporter of Israel. And then he would say, and they would ask him why. And so, we're in those things and we're listening, but at the same time you're looking, but mm-hmm. you hear these things and you hear them over. And I can remember him saying, he was a supporter of it because one, a nation should be able to defend itself after they've been attacked. Two, Charlie was a devout Christian to the point that he gave his life for it. And he referenced this, and I heard him reference it, where those places that are our holy land are being taken away from us and not being able to visit, and that you can't go there. And so that protection of Israel was important to him and those holy sites. And he'd been there. And so he had talked about being there and how it changed his life. And so that's why those sites in that area was important for him to protect. Now, how you can derive Israeli hitmen out of that, I have no idea. But we have never received anything from the FBI, which they were pretty good about sharing information, Secret Service, because of the Charlie Circle. And we had never received anything from anybody that was credible that was saying that groups of that entity was a threat to him. We received other threats all the time.
Mm-hmm. What kind of
they come in all the time, and so you got to look at them. Are they First Amendment or are they actual threats? Mm-hmm. And so First Amendment threats would come in, and these people have disgusting. They're like, Charlie, I can't wait till you come to, it was somewhere on the West Coast. I can't remember what town it was, but I can't wait till you come to this town so that I hope somebody shoots you in the head and we can pee in the hole.
What?
Yeah. It's like, where do you get this kind of stuff,
man?
And so what are you benefiting from it, right? And so, am I gonna spend an exorbitant amount of time with a a possibility that I don't have any tangible intel on and haven't received any, or am I going to put my eggs into this basket that is a probability right here? You know, and so it's probable these people are doing it with bomb threats, routinely, physical, threats to person, and so you got to look at all these things and work those angles. And Dan did that meticulously, and he shared that information with us. And so if that came in, we got it, and we never got anything that no Mossad or nothing. That was never, not once.
Did anybody, I've interviewed a lot of warfighters. I'm a warfighter. A lot of times somebody on the team will have some type of a feeling or a premonition or, hey, we shouldn't be here right now, or something's about to happen. I don't have a good feeling about this. Did anybody on your team or Charlie, anybody, express any concerns about that day?
On that day, for us personally, when you walk in and we talk about workup, right? So we start the back workup, and then we're a little different also as far as our guys don't just get to show up. The team goes out and we physically build all of our prevention model. So they don't show up and just see it. They physically build it, and we walk through it each other, and we make sure things are done right. And so our guys are pulling bike racks and putting them together, and they're putting tape up, and they're looking at places all around the bubble that our area of responsibility is. And so, they're looking around thinking, God, this is horrible. It's a beautiful amphitheater there at UVU, but, you're a tactician. If you're somewhere and you're covered from an elevated position from 180 degrees, it's horrible. And that's where we were. But that's come out. It's like, why would they have it there? This is ignorance. It's a security fail. And I'm like, well, one, that's where they told us we had to have it. We weren't optioned out anywhere else. There's a permit you have to get. And the school says, nope, this is where you have to have it. We don't get to argue with them. We don't get to say, no, but that's it. This is where you have to do it. And then secondarily, Charlie liked it. It wasn't ticketing. You didn't have gates. Regular people showed up, and we had spoke to him about it before. And it's like, man, this is getting dangerous, And his response was, I know. And so it's like, but if you ticket it and you make people jump through hoops to come in or pay or go through magnetometers, and then the people with opposing views don't show up, and then there's no conversation. And when there's no conversation, there's more division. And his goal was to have less division through conversation. And so the easiest way to get that was to open it up. And that's not the first. UVU was an open air, but we did San Francisco where we had a street takeover and people trying to climb over fences, and our primary and secondary exfil got compromised, and so it was bad.
Wow. No matter where you're watching Shawn Ryan Show from, if you get anything out of this, please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, share this everywhere you possibly can. And if you're feeling extra generous, please leave us a review on Apple and Spotify podcasts.